So we're at the final stages of building this app. What we'll do next is create a guide box. So when the user first uses the app, they're guided in what they should be doing. So to do that, we'll go to App, create a new Dart file. We'll name this guide box, a new stateless widget, and we'll return an alert dialog. And for the title, we'll just put in some text so we can display something. We'll put in test. In methods, we'll create a method to run this guide box. We'll use the helper method, show dialog. So this builder will display the widget when we want it to. So in here, we'll write in guide box. We need an instance of a build context. So let's take this in. All right, cool. So we want to first run this guide box when the user first starts a Flashcard session to tell the user to double tap the card to flip it around. So in Flashcard's page, in the init state, inside the add post frame callback, because we need an instance of a build context, we'll call run guide box. So now let's run it. And cool, we have the guide box there. Let's build out the UI. Firstly, I'll remove the title and instead we'll use content. We'll put in a column, and inside of the children, we'll first put in some text. This will have the instructions. Double tap \n for new line to reveal answer. Okay, so there we have the text popping up. Under that, we'll have an image. So these are the three images we'll use. So just images that are nice and clear. In images, we'll paste these in. So we have these three images in here now. We'll use image.asset, we'll put in the path name. So in this case, we'll be using guide double tap. We'll also wrap the image in an expanded. And also some padding. We'll make that 18. Now if the image doesn't show, perhaps try a full restart. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully the image should then show. Let's jump in. And cool, now we have that image. Now let's update the content text. So if we go to configs themes, we've already set up the dialog theme, so therefore we've got this red background and rounded corners. We'll also set the content text style. We'll just copy the existing text style for the title, paste that in, and we'll do a hot restart. All right, cool. So we have the text updated. Back in guide box, let's center that text. Text align dot center. Cool. Now let's also adjust the size of this guide box. It's a little bit too big. We'll firstly get size with media query. I'll create a variable. I'll name this height padding. And we'll times this by 0.2. Then in alert dialog, we can use inset padding, edge insets only. So top, we'll set this at height padding, and bottom, we'll also set that at height padding. Okay, so that's pushed that down. That looks a bit better. Now we want to create two guide boxes in this example. We'll create one that also tells the user to swipe left or right. To do that, we'll create a bool, and we'll name this as first. Now obviously a bool only makes sense with two options. If we had a few more guide boxes, we can instead set up an enum and have a whole lot of different values. But in this case, we'll keep it simple. So we'll just have two. So this is a required parameter. Then in the method, we need to determine whether it is the first guide box. So set up a required parameter is first. And now when we also call this method, we need to pass this in. So is first, this will be true. So the second time we want to run the guide box is after the card has flipped around. So let's copy this. We can go to card 1. On double tap, we can then paste this in here, and we'll set is first to false. Let's run this. So we've got the first card, we'll just dismiss it, flip this around, and now we have the second card. So obviously we want the UI to be different. So what we can do in the column is we can use isFirst as a condition, then ... the spread operator, wrap these widgets with these brackets, then we can write else, so the other option. So now let's build out the second set of widgets. So first we'll create a column so we can stack some widgets on top of each other. I'll put this inside an expanded. We'll have the text. I'll copy this here, paste this in, and we'll change this to swipe left, new line if incorrect. And we'll set text align to left. Under this we'll have an image. Let's copy the image here, paste this in. So the image we want to use this time will be guide left swipe. Okay, cool, so we have that updated. Next is I want swipe right if correct to be side by side. So what we can do is firstly we'll wrap this in a row, and we'll also put the row in an expanded. We'll then refactor out this existing UI. We'll name this guide swipe, so a new Flutter widget. Copy, paste. All right, cool. So now we've got two side by side. So let's create a bool, so the same idea. If this is left, we'll return this text. Otherwise, put a colon, swipe right if correct, and we'll align this to the right. We'll also do the same with the image. And this will be guide right swipe. And we need to pass this in, so is left is true and is left is false. Swipe left if incorrect, swipe right if correct. So to dismiss the guide box, the user can click anywhere, but let's also add a button so it's as intuitive as possible. In alert dialog, we have actions. We can pass in a series of actions. We just want one, an elevated button, and we'll write got it. Inside the on pressed, we can use navigator dot maybe pop. This will pop off the last route on the stack, which will be this guide box. Now let's actually put in some width padding as well. So we'll create width padding. We'll set this at 0.1, and instead of using only, we'll use from. So the left will be the width, so will the right, and the height padding will be the top and bottom, and we'll change this here to width. Okay, cool. So there we've got the width padding and also the buttons popped up. Let's stretch out that button a little bit. I'm going to wrap this in a size box. We'll put the width as size.width times 0.5. We'll center this also. So main axis alignment dot center. Cool. And let's add a bit of padding to the button. Okay, cool. I think that looks pretty good. Now, obviously, it's going to be annoying if these guide boxes keep popping up every time the user runs a card session. So to solve that problem, inside of Run Guide Box, we can use shared preferences to record whether the boxes have popped up. So as per before, firstly, get an instance of shared preferences. We use the then callback. In here, write in prefs. So prefs.setBool. So now we'll set a key value pair. We'll name this key as simple as possible, guidebox. We'll keep the key simple, guidebox, and a value of true. This could actually be true or false, it won't matter. And let's only have this saved if it's the second guidebox. So we'll write if isFirst is false. I think the guide boxes also pop up a little bit too quickly, so we'll put a short delay in using the delayed method on the future class. We'll put in 1200 milliseconds, cut this, paste it in. Back in the guide box, let's also add a bit of animation. So I've already created a fade in animation. So this effect will look quite cool. We can just easily apply this, wrap the alert dialog with the fade in animation. So let's jump into the flashcards page. We'll use shared preferences, get instance. So the same thing. Then we can check if prefs get bool this time at that key. So this must be exact. Guide box equals null, i.e. we have not saved anything yet with that key. Then we can run the guide box. Let's also do the same here. So paste this in. This will be false. So now we have these guide boxes. They should only show the first time the user uses the app, even if they close the app and reopen it. And lastly, let's also provide a way to reset these settings. So here in clear preferences and methods, we'll write prefs.remove and type in the key. So clear preferences is called when the user resets the app in the settings menu. Okay, so let's test this. We'll do a hot restart. Jump back in and we don't have the guide box. So therefore, this does not show anymore. Let's reset the settings. So the guide box should show up again. And cool, the guide box is showing up again. So this is looking good. So now that we have the guide box working, we'll set up one other type of pop-up box, which will just be a quick notification box. So this is nice and easy to do. In the app folder, we'll create a new Dart file. We'll name this quick box. A new stateless widget. So this is using the same idea. Return an alert dialog. In here, we'll have the text. We'll use the title and we'll pass in the text that the quick box will display. And we'll also set this to text-align.center. Okay, so we'll also create a helper method to run this. We'll name this run quickbox. We need to pass in the string and also a build context. Again, we'll use show dialog and we'll then return the quick box. Now in this case, let's just have the box show up for a second and then pop off. So what we can do is we can use the delayed on the future class. We'll use the navigator class and maybe pop. And also for the barrier dismissible parameter, we'll pass in false. So therefore the user cannot dismiss this pop-up box before this 1 second. Otherwise, this may pop off the wrong route on the stack. And because it's only a quick pop-up box, this won't matter. So now there's a couple of places we can call this. Firstly, in the settings page, when we reset the app, let's have a pop-up box appear. So now run quick box. Nice and easy, we'll just write in the text, settings reset. Also, when the user saves an incorrect card in the results box, let's go to the results box. So have saved cards is true. We'll run a quick box. Incorrect cards saved. So obviously, if you want to add this in more places, that can be easily done now. So let's do a hot restart. Let's reset. Settings reset. Cool. Let's see the guide box. Double tap to reveal answer. Got it. Flip this around. Swipe left if incorrect. Cool. Save incorrect cards. Incorrect card saved. Okay, great. So we've now set up the guide box and quick notification boxes, which just make using this app, I think, a little bit clearer.